Hey everybody, welcome back to Leosophy. This is the fourth in the tea series. Probably be the shortest, just because there's not as much to cover. Really, white tea is kind of like what happens if you pick the youngest tea leaves, the with the least amount of pretty much all the alkaloids and compounds that makes tea, the smallest amount, and then you oxidize it really quick. That's pretty much it. The youngest leaves, you arrest the oxidation process. I mean, I said oxidize, I meant you arrest it with heat the way you do green tea. And then you have white tea. And white tea, true to its name, is a much lighter color than green tea and paler yellow. And it's much more delicate and floral. I mean, that's really it in terms of which ones I personally think are the best. Um, Silver Needle and White Peony. Those are, I mean, there's a lot of other good white teas, but really they all kind of taste similar to me. They're all a very delicate, much. I mean, I would say that astringency doesn't even factor in. In fact, if you have white tea and it tastes astringent, either you got ripped off or you boiled it for too long. Like white tea is a much more delicate tea, and as such, you use quite a bit lower temperatures. And I use the same steeping time. For example, I eyeball it when I add water to tea, but I usually it's like just when a few little bubbles start appearing on the surface of the whatever I'm heating up, and then I add it and steep it for 3 minutes, and what I end up with is something that's very delicate, very floral, a little fruity. Usually to me it's like drinking caffeinated flower water while smelling a pear. That's kind of what it's like. There's a fruit element, like a pear element, but and white teas are really good. I highly recommend them. This video isn't short because they're bad or anything. In fact, every spring summer I gotta have at least one white tea in my little set that I usually buy about 5 teas for spring and summer and 5 teas for autumn and winter, and I drink them, switch out which one what day. And there's usually a white tea day in spring and summer. This is all weird stuff that's not necessary, by the way. You don't have to do the weird thing that I'm doing that I just sort of made up because it just suits my interest in tea really well. But yeah, if you want to try some good white teas, White Peony and Silver Needle are pretty good recommendations. Just stay away from the floral ones for the most part. There are some good ones, but it's a lot easier to get burnt. So, I mean, feel free to experiment, but just be aware of that some of the really low quality white teas are the ones that they mix with floral stuff. And what you end up with is, instead of that nice nuance, like a lot of good floral teas, and when I say floral, I mean like jasmine tea, for example, what you end up with is just something that tastes like flipping perfume, or like somebody melted Turkish delight into a tea. But yeah, that's about it. It's contains roughly the same antioxidants every year or so. There's always some propaganda campaign to make one tea out to be a lot healthier than others. Oh, if you thought green was good, wait till you try oolong. Oh, you thought oolong was good, wait till you try white. They all have good qualities. Don't drink tea just for your health, and if you do, switch it up, because none of them are like some magic panacea that's better than another. But yeah, white tea's good. It's a much lighter flavor. This has already gone longer than it should have, really. That's about it. So, like, share, subscribe, keep asking questions. Bye.